To be highly productive, you got to decide to focus. If you try and put your energy into 20 different things, there's always going to be someone putting more energy into one or two of those. You've got to focus. If it's less than 5, it's probably too focused. If it's more than 5, you've got to be really careful with your distribution of energy into many different things. Conor here in Gran Canaria, and here teaching at the Bravo Murillo Business School. And I wanted to share a quote that I wrote down here with you. And the quote is from Glennon Doyle. It's, "Your job throughout your entire life is to disappoint as many people as it takes to avoid disappointing yourself." And this reflection from Glennon Doyle that our job throughout our entire life is to disappoint as many others as is necessary so that we do not end up disappointing ourselves with our own life. And I find this a scary reflection. I find, I can often fall into the trap of when I can't find validation of my plans, my projects inside myself, to seek out the validation, the approval of others, and end up saying yes to a lot of things that do not align with what I know are the important things in my life. And there's a story that comes from Warren Buffett. And Warren Buffett, for many years, had a pilot who flew the 2 aircraft that were part of Berkshire Hathaway. And Steve, the pilot, after 6 years, Warren said to him, "Steve, you've been with us now for 6 years. I'd love to see you develop. What is it that you want to do?" And he said, "Steve, would you take some time and write on a sheet of paper a list of the 20 projects, adventures, things you'd like to achieve, the 20 most important things that at the end of your life, if you look back, that would be a good use of this life. What are your 20 bucket list items?" And Steve takes time over a couple of weeks to put together a list of the 20 projects, adventures, things on a bucket list that he would really feel was a good use of this life. And after a couple of weeks, he says, "Warren, I've got the list." And Warren says, "Good. Step 2, Steve, what I would like you to do is identify the top 5. But take your time to do this well. What are the top 5 most important? And take the time to really know that in that top 5 are the 5 most important. There's no confusion between top 5 and the rest." So Steve takes some more time, and after a couple of more weeks, this sheet of paper has got multiple colors of pen. It's stained with coffee. It's clearly been reflected on over and over for many days. And Steve finally finds another opportunity. He says, "Warren, I've finished the second step. I've got the list of 20 and I've identified the top 5. And Warren says to Steve, "Steve, what are you going to do with number 6 to 20? And Steve says, "Well, clearly 1 to 5 are the most important. I'll be pushing those, but 6 to 20 are still important. So I guess if an opportunity came up to move forward on number 7 or number 12 or number 15, I'd take it." And Warren said, "No. Number 6 to 20 are your never touch list. The reason you won't achieve the top 5 most important things in your life is not Facebook distraction, is not watching these videos on YouTube. It's number 6 to 20. And those are going to be the distractions that are justifiable, that you can easily tell yourself that there's a reason for it." And I think that this thought that in order to be focused, you have to be kind of brutal on clarifying what are the things that you're going to spend your time, your energy, your effort on, and be very careful about allowing time, energy to drift off into other things. I think when I meet successful people, so often what you see in them is they've learned really clearly who and what are the important projects or activities in their life, and how to be really consistent in dedicating the best time and energy of their day, of their week, of their month to those activities, and being very careful about being distracted into other activities. So this idea that we must learn to disappoint others and disappoint projects number 6 to 20, so that at the end of our life we don't look back and feel regret that we didn't find the energy and time to put into the 5 most important things in our life. So reflection here that to be highly productive, you got to decide to focus. If you try and put your energy into 20 different things, there's always going to be someone putting more energy into 1 or 2 of those. You've got to focus. If it's less than 5, it's probably too focused. If it's more than 5, you've got to be really careful with your distribution of energy into many different things. So a reflection here from Gran Canaria of get clear on what is important. Get clear on who, the people, the projects, the adventures that are important to you. And make sure at the beginning of each year you get those big things into your agenda before you start drifting into the smaller things and all the requests for your time and attention that are going to come up. And the more effective you are in generating success in those projects, the more requests for your time and attention are going to come through. I find this quote a harsh one. We must learn to disappoint others so that we avoid disappointing ourselves. So a tough reflection here from Gran Canaria. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your questions. It's your questions and your comments here that keep me motivated to pull out the camera, make these videos. Have a good one.